It's not even the same console anymore, but it's still so nostalgic. Let's let it play through. This soundtrack is a gift to humankind. Why is it cutting out? It's been too long. I don't know why the sound was cutting out on my end. I hope that didn't happen for you. Bling. Let's just start so that it doesn't make us replay the demo here. There we go. Thank you for joining me, fellow Guardians. This is Sam from Multiverse Mission Control, and today's quest is Dark Cloud. This is, I believe, the first game from developer Level 5, back in the old 2000. And from this, they would go on to make more recognized series like Rogue Galaxy, let's see, Professor Layton, some of the later Dragon Quest games. That's what I was trying to avoid. Well, I'll continue. Yokai Watch, and what's name? There's one I'm forgetting. No, wait, remembered. Ni no Kuni. That's it. Okay. But, for whatever reason, even back when this came out, not a lot of people... Like, this is one of those unique cult classics, but it's still the case that I meet a lot of people who don't know this exists, and that makes me very sad. Which is why I gotta put it up on the YouTubes. Raise the awareness, because this was PS2 era, and a lot of the things they were playing with were mind-blowing, at least to me, back then. On the surface, it seems like your old-school dungeon crawler. Silent, boy protagonist, wandering through the world, but then, like, they just start pulling random things out of everywhere. It becomes, like, inventory management, village building, like, I'm not even sure how much I should say up front. You should just, like, see it. Let's not do the game a disservice here. A book was found in some old ruins. All the scholars who decoded it puzzled over the mystery of the book. A world with 2 moons illuminating the sky. The many dazzling adventures of a young boy. But whether or not this is a true story, do you believe in the story woven in the book? Maybe it's a fantasy that existed only in a boy's heart. Let me tell you this story. This ancient book tells of a magical and magnificent fairy tale. And the hero of this wondrous tale, whose name is... Yeah, unless I create the character, I usually just decide to keep the standard one. Boy from Norun. Tone. Or Toan. It's never clear. Oh well. Dark Shrine. Was this E for everyone or T for teen? I don't know, but like... hit all the right notes to me. This scene was like straight out of one of the darker anime that I would sneak peeks at and my parents weren't looking. Perfect synchronization achieved. You've gathered quite a few of them. I had a hard time finding dancers with the right qualifications. You're a Nazi. You're like, no way there's not a Nazi. Look at them. Their dance of blood. Mixing the blood of witches with that of humans is the key to breaking the seal. However, I do have some problems. Problems? In order to procure good material, you do need adequate... I see. I'll pay you extra. That should solve your problem, huh? Yes, sir. Thank you. I don't think you had any problems at all. So when will it happen? Very soon, sir. Let us enjoy the ceremony till it is time. If I'm not careful, I'm gonna lose the thread of the dialogue. Should limit how much snark I put into this. You know, this may be like an evil ritual and all, but it's still some fine dancing. Credit where it's due, yeah? It's like, who are these guys? What's going on here? Why is that singing so beautiful? Flag, sir. Do you know the legend of the dark genie sealed in the urn? Of course. How much money do you think I put into acquiring this urn? I've been waiting for this for years, and now its legendary power is mine. 400 years ago, the Genie of Darkness appeared in the east, and with its evil power, the world was burnt away. What do you intend to do with such frightening power in your hands? You'll see. Ominous. That booty! Sorry. But then, as tends to be the case with evil cult rituals, they all get sacrificed. Fade away. So now it is the time. Yes, sir, so it seems. The Dark Genie. What? This is the genie? The Dark Genie? Well, it's quite different than I imagined. Isn't it always the case? This guy's great. He's basically Majin Buu in personality. The ancient Dark Genie. This is it? Hey! Who are you guys? Welcome back, Genie of Darkness. I broke the seal and released you. Therefore, I am your master. Oh, is that right? Whatever. Fine. That's actually the voice he kind of has in the second game. Trying to recreate it. Gah! Yes, that's right! I haven't eaten for 400 years! Darn, I need to have something! Food! Food! You! Ah! Stop it! And just like that, he devours a dude in front of us. Cool. Delicious. This is definitely the Babidi Majin Buu relationship here. You have no way to control this thing. Oh well. Let's hope he doesn't find out, huh? For your sake. Or actually, screw you. You're like a Nazi dude. Anyway. Happy Village Festival time. Just to give us a quick change of pace. That's actually one of the things I love about this game. You get to be... Well, actually, hold on. Don't want to lose the conversation. Hi, how are you today? It's going by itself. I'm not pressing X as the thing. Oh, now it's actually letting me. Tone, it's already started. Come on, let's go. Maybe because I'm playing as the protagonist now. See, I told you should have hurried. Come on, we're late. I'm a staff member this year, so I have to go. Sorry. Oh, she left you, Tone. Hurry up. In a lot of ways, this was like PlayStation's answer to Zelda. But didn't receive as much attention. Again, I feel that's a shame. But it's just a game that's full of so many happy noises and music and things. I mean... Two moons in the sky. How cool would that be? I mean, they'd probably take it for granted, but oh, look who it is. Look at the insects squirm about. Start there! Definitely Majin Buu. Like world-destroying power, but the personality of a child. Doesn't even have to, like, consider the consequences of what he does at all. That's what makes him so terrifying in a lot of ways. No, not my house! Tone! Hero time! You done just made it personal, fam. Hi there. Can you hear me? Open your eyes. Wake up! Hey! I love giving this guy like the Grim Reaper's voice from Soul Eater. I am the Fairy King. I'm the entity that unites all of nature's spirits. Listen well, young one. Something bad has happened. Men blinded by greed have revived the Dark Genie. This Dark Genie is terribly powerful. Its power is so great that it could destroy the entire world. You saw it. Your own village being destroyed right before your eyes. Not just your village.
In a flash, many villages and towns were destroyed. In one night, half of your world was annihilated. What?
That's some heavy stuff. Oh, right, that was the thing that happened.
It must be the men from the east that performed the resurrection ceremony. Probably thinking to use its black demon power for war without realizing how frightening it is. It is darkness, pure darkness itself. Long ago, this so-called dark genie almost destroyed the entire world. Its malevolence is that great. The bad thing is that it has the same type of magical power as us, spirits. Unfortunately, we aren't powerful enough to destroy it. Young man, I see that you have a strong will that could withstand the evil power. And also a clear, kind heart. You might be able to fight against the darkness it generates. I decided to stake our fate on you. Let me bless you with power.
The Atlamillia.
There, surprised? That's called Atlamillia. It's a stone with a magical power. Oh, don't look that way, boy. I'll explain now. It might get too bright for your eyes for a moment.
Devastating moment here.
Do you know where this is? This is no simple empty lot. This was your village. But do not lose heart. As long as you have that stone, you can return it to its original form. You see, just before the village was destroyed by that genie, I saved the buildings and people by sealing them into spheres called Atla.
No one's dead! Yes!
It seems those Atla were scattered all around by its tremendous magic power. They were probably blown to different places around the world. It probably thinks everything is destroyed. You must restore the world before it realizes what happened. Absorb that which I sealed in Atla, using that Atlamillia, and bring them back. Then you'll be able to restore the world to its original form. You may even be able to create an even better world than before.
This is why I love this game. It's basically the apocalypse happened. They dropped evil nuclear bomb on your city, but you get to make it all right again, even and better than before. And you get to be part of that which you are defending. It makes you feel like part of the world so much. I love it. Oh, and also Atlamillia, little tip of the hat to an atlas, which tells you about the features of a place or something like that. Anyway.
You don't seem to understand anything I'm saying. Oh well, I'll give you another lesson when you acquire some Atla.
He's just a kid. Give him a break.
So long!
So for a second it's like you drop that big mission on my head and then walk away. But there is still life. If there's even this much life, there's hope.
Tone, can you hear them? You should be able to hear them. Voices of the wind, voices of the trees, voices of the animals, and the voices of the earth. They are all calling for your help. Tone, you will probably meet and say goodbye to many people. In talking to these people, you may receive clues to defeating the darkness. Look for them. Now, Tone, your adventure will begin. First, go to the village chief's house. He'll show you where to go next.
And so we set off with a will. We're gonna restore the world. We're gonna make everything right. Our adventure is in our own hands now. So there are two sections of the game. There's the overworld section like this, where you can do all the editing. So you can like see the overmap, pick the buildings and features from your menu and put them into the world proper. And you can also like save a lot of time fast traveling this way. Like, I want to be right at the stairs now. Boom. Can't go any further than that, I'm afraid, but it does boggle the mind why this was spared. Maybe the genie thought, that's not a building, that's a gourd! Okay, but now.
Ah! Tone! You're alive! Seems like we're the only ones in the village that survived. We never dreamt this would happen. One night and our village is gone. Can you believe this, Tone? I feel so helpless. I, the mayor of the village, can't do anything about it. What am I supposed to do now?
I understand. I feel pretty helpless too.
I guess the only thing we can do is to get help from the guardian of Naroon Village, Dran. Dran will not abandon us. He'll help us for sure. I have a favor to ask, Tone. Go to the Divine Beast Cave and tell Dran what happened. Divine Beast Cave is the cave outside, towards your right-hand side. You've probably seen it before. I may be imagining things, but I sense something has changed about the cave. Be careful. This is the cave key.
Definitely a bit of Legend of Zelda inspiration here.
I put the things you might need in your bag for you. Don't get carried away. If you get in trouble in there, come back here. I'll get you more supplies. Good luck.
This guy is legit. It's like, the world is over, let's stick together. I'll help you however I can. Also, if you go over here...
A spiky bug's coming out!
Prickly! That's fishing bait. We'll get into that later. I don't think there's anything else I can poke, but... I'll take a look anyway. At least you stayed with all the amenities. Yes, it's so tragic. Such a happy, carefree village torn apart just because people want to be all hateful and greedy and crap. Let's just not do that.
Now our only hope is Dran. Dran has always watched over us. I'm sure Dran has watched us this time too, and will help us. But really, this time even Dran's windmill where Dran's magic power dwells is destroyed.
But something must have prevented Dran from intervening if he's not here right now.
Dran lives in the deepest part of the Divine Beast Cave. So you know, the Divine Beast Cave is the cave on the right-hand side when you go out of this house. The entrance is locked. When exclamation marks appear, press the square button and use the cave key. That'll let you in. The cave has changed quite a bit from before, Tone. Be careful.
Okay, out of dialogue. Is it? Yeah, here's my full menu. Here's all the items the mayor gave me. And if you ever run out of these, you can come back and he'll resupply you with whatever you're missing. He won't give you infinite items though. That's why it's so important to unlock the shops, because then you can prepare like to the fullest. My starting weapon is this dagger. One of the great things about... now weapons do break in this game, but your starting one will always stay with you, so you always have a backup. And there's a lot of systems at play here. So, may take us some explaining. I do love the soundtrack. This is called Departure, this theme. Just in case you want to look that up later. How do I, Whoops. No, incorrect. I was doing the edit mode before. Now it's only pausing. Oh, right. There are multiple sides to the touchpad. Before it was just start and select, man. It was a simpler time. Oh well. So over there is the gate when we're gonna proceed, but over here is the Divine Beast Cave. It's pretty scary. There's like our haven and the dungeon right next to each other. But fortunately you never have to deal with the monsters coming out. They're just there to guard it. And did you notice in the upper right there is like a day-night cycle going on? It will record how many days you spent on the adventure. It doesn't matter too much, but like some events will only happen at night and... Well, it does give it a bit more of an immersive feel as well though. As you wander the world, it's never stagnant. There's life and things happening. Anyway, cave key. Dun, 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 dun. So there are 8 Atla here. And I forget what that is. Is that the number of times I've cleared it? Well, anyway. The Fairy King will pop by to tell you all you need to know about your adventure. On each floor, even. At least for the first few.
It's for real this time, Tone. From here on, you will be put to the true test. First, conquer this wretched divine beast cave and find Dran's lair. That's your first goal. Since you're a beginner, I'll give you a lesson on how to fight in the dungeon. First, to advance to the next floor in a dungeon, acquire a gate key for the door leading to the next floor. Each dungeon has a different gate key. For the Divine Beast Cave, Dran's Crest will be the gate key. The gate key is almost always carried by a monster in the dungeon. You must defeat the monsters to acquire the gate key. Since you can't tell which one has the key, you just have to defeat them all one by one. Next, I'll tell you about how to return to the ground level, rather than advancing to the floor below. To return to ground level, mind connect with me. In other words, speak with your mind. When you do this, I will transport your body to the ground level. Just select Leave Dungeon from the main menu. But be aware, if there are monsters left on the floor, the mind connect won't work. It will be blocked by their evil energies. In such cases, use the item Escape Powder to get out on your own. The Norian village chief has lots of it, so be sure to get it before you go. You can also mind connect with me when you go through the gate to the next floor of a dungeon. When you re-enter the dungeon, you can start at the next new level, so you don't have to worry about losing progress. That's nice. Next, it's on to weapons. Be aware that weapons are breakable. The more you use a weapon, the more it wears, and finally it breaks. Broken weapons will disappear. To prevent weapons from breaking, use the item Repair Powder. It will restore their weapon HP. The longer you use a weapon by repairing, the more magic it absorbs, and the more magic it absorbs from monsters, and thus becomes stronger. It's said that when a weapon reaches its full strength, it can change to a more powerful form. Keep that in mind. So in this game, you don't get it, XP, your weapon does. And then there are all the trees you can build off of that. Oh, I cast a special spell on the dagger you have on, so it will never disappear. But all the new weapons you will get during the quest will disappear once they break, so be careful. Don't waste your hard work by letting a weapon break and disappear. It's the most heartbreaking thing in the world, trust me, when you've leveled a weapon so far, and then you get careless and whack something that's got too much resistance, and then boom. Finally, the important stuff. The sphere, Atla, where I protected and sealed the fragments of the world. If you see an Atla, don't hesitate to touch it. You can absorb the contents of an Atla into an Atlamillia by touching it. When you return to the surface, you will be able to begin reassembling these fragments of the world. Oops, today's lesson ran a little long. That's it for the lecture today. Now, Tone, show me your true ability on this quest. It's like this is a quest with purpose. Blessed by divine powers. How often do you get to say that? So, there are a couple things to watch here. One thing is that you have a thirst meter. That's there's the heart, there's the weapon HP, and the last one with the canteen, that's thirst. That will drain over the course of your time in the dungeon, and you have to replenish it with water. There's almost always a spring to top you off, but like, that's something you never think about, right? You're adventuring, you're fighting monsters, of course you're gonna get thirsty, and it's like, little touches like that, they just keep me in the game. I love it. And then bread heals you, repair powder, escape powder were mentioned, and then this is an antidote drink for when I get poisoned. Anywho, let's rock. And there's my little mini-map in the right there forming, the more I explore. So, cave bats, pretty standard fare for an RPG. You can press circle to lock onto them, and I believe L1, yeah, to, whoa, dasher. More important, I think. I should be able to, whoops, that's first person view, don't do that. Now, he'll dash right up to you and bash you with the mace, but you have a moment right before he strikes, so just let him come. Boom, 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 boom. And that's my 5-hit combo. Now the bats poison you. Don't ask me why. So you can't be as cocky around them. And sometimes they will just zip up into the rafters where you can't hit them. You will get ranged party members later who can help you out with that. The camera's a little wonky unless you're targeting something. Magical crystal. Now this is very important. See all the dots there? It shows me what I can expect in this dungeon. It's more important than the map in a lot of ways. I mean, the map will tell you where the specific bends are,
Sometimes things end up behind walls. I guess you do kind of need them both. Anyway, come along. One thing you can do to counteract the bat's escape is to charge up your attack. Toad will do a leaping thing with that. See, I caught him midair. And then there's a better version you can get later on. Ooh, that's something I should do. Mimi, that's more fishing bait. Triangle. Triangle, that's the main pause. Active items. You can put up to 3 things up here. And then if you press square when you're on the right... Oh, you can't do that with repair powder. Huh. Okay, I guess I'll just have to remember to pause for that one. But with the D-pad, you can cycle between them, and if you press square, you can use them at will. Very important. You get poisoned, you can just immediately glug that thing down. Or if you notice you're starting to get thirsty, yeah, you know how it goes. Now then. Skelly! Let's rock! Yeah! Fortunately, once is all you need to put them down. But there are later Skelly versions that will get back up. Hey! Gate key! But I still need to find it. Huh. Camera's a bit twitchier than I remembered. Oh well. So this minecart will take you to a back floor, where the monsters are tougher, but so are the rewards. If you want to level up, this is usually the place to do it. But you usually have to find your own special key to do that, and that's not always available. Sometimes you have to save it for the right floor. And here's an Atla. Cheese! Everybody needs some cheese. Generates that O2. And the Atlamillia is bigger on the inside. I'm keeping everything in this pocket dimension until I can throw it back into the world. And sometimes that means people, and that's really weird to think about. I will release you as soon as possible, but not until I find your house. I'm not kidding. You can't unless you have the house. Anywho. So I can plug this in, but I can just leave that for now. I can leave it and explore at my leisure. Big chest. Of course, sometimes big chests are trapped. It's locked. Forcing it open may activate a trap. So, you can find a treasure chest key to bypass that, or you can force the chest open by guessing the trap. So, the trap must be poison. Poison will drain your HP over time. It must be an explosion, or it must be a curse. Curses are not as bad as all that. They make it so that you can't change your unequipped weapon. Which is only a problem if, you did... It might be a problem early on when you get a new weapon and you want to upgrade it right away, but it's really not that big a deal. I always guess the trap is poison, because that's the worst thing of these. Failed, it was a curse. Whatever. But now that I know that, the trap must be a curse, because I am currently cursed. Bone Rapier. Now, unfortunately, yeah, it is early game, so that is kind of bad. Now I can't take that Bone Rapier and start kicking ass with it. But it only lasts until you leave the dungeon. So again, it's like budget cursing. Now, there is a... Yes, I hear you. You want to come through the doorway, perhaps? I got things to do. Don't keep me waiting! Gold! Now, one of the things that really freaked me out as a kid is that later on, you will encounter... Oh no, my weapon's about to break. That's okay, I'll finish this guy first. But when you hear that beeping sound, take heed, because that's when you might want to repair it. All it takes is racking the wrong thing when it's like that, and boom. It's broken, and all your hard work gone in a flash. But it's like your actions have consequences, and it teaches you that the hard way. Macho's house. And the map. Good. And there's a spring over there. Excellent. I wouldn't even need to waste the water. Wind. Now, that's another thing. You can equip these things to your weapons with Customize. Wind is a gem that gives it more wind attribute, which is effective against some enemies. There's Fire, Ice, Thunder, Wind, and Holy. But then there's also Beast Slayer, Undead Slayer, Sea Slayer, Rock Slayer, Plant Slayer, Beast Slayer, whatever that is, Metal Slayer, Mimic Breaker, and Mage Slayer. Oh, Dragon Slayer, that must be it. Okay. Then there's Attack, Endurance, Speed, and Magic Power as well. And then the Abs is... that's basically the weapon experience. So my dagger's about to level up. Actually, I'm gonna save that for something else, I think. And then you can activate whatever you want your active element to be if you're fighting something that's weak to that. If it's got at least 1 point in that. Anyway. So, there's an old school D&D enemy in these dungeons called the Mimic, which takes the form of a treasure chest. And it is, like, terrifying as all heck. Like, you hear tell of mimics, it's different for one to appear before you. Even... You may know of it now because of Dark Souls, but back in the day, man, back in the day, a mimic was a nightmare. Fink! There we go. I'm sure that's sanitary. Gotta decide which of you is priority. Dagger's abs is full. You can upgrade it. Now the reason also you're safe in the spring. Nothing can hurt you. It even restores your HP, I think. Hold on. Hit me. Yeah, cool. Actually, I'm not gonna kill you yet. Because I'm gonna upgrade my weapon first. So, when the abs gets full, and let's just make the joke right now, my weapon has abs! It's got muscles on it! Whatever you customize it with gets fully absorbed into the weapon, which is why I don't want to waste this just yet. Because I think I might put it on the Bone Rapier and run with that. Upgrade! Dagger +1. And some of the upgrade trees need particular things, like a certain amount of Beast Slayer or things like that before you can make him into fancier versions. The dagger has no such tree, which is why I'm gonna be focusing on this bad boy once my curse wears off. Anyway, come here. Thankfully, it didn't poison me. Mimics don't appear until like after floor 8, I think, but still, I'm gonna be eyeing every chest in this game for some time. There's another item you can get called Dran's Feather, which I think is very important because it allows you to just like speed through the dungeon really quickly, and that means you spend less time getting thirsty or, you know, letting poison do you in before you can run to the spring. And sometimes, when you don't have antidote drink, you just have to sit in the spring until it wears off. It's a bit annoying, but what can you do? Okay, so we got 3 more Atla and 3 more baddies, and then we can call it a day. Because I think that'll be good for one episode. Did I mention what the buttons were? It was X to attack, circle to target, square to use your active item, triangle to go into your menu. I think that's it. I think that's all you need to know for the dungeon crawling. Oh, that's one thing I forgot to mention. These dungeons are randomized. They're roguelike. Before roguelike was even popular. You can go to the same floor, it won't look the same as before. Which, I don't know, it adds a bit of intrigue, a bit of freshness to each new encounter. It's a bit scary not having a stable map, but you can still grind off it pretty well. Okay, that's everybody. So now if I wanted to, I could take the Fairy King's mind power out. But if I do that now, I'm gonna... Hi, Matcha. I'm gonna lose out on the next floor, so we gotta exit through the proper door here. This is also why Dran's Feather is good. After everything is dead and you just want to get to the exit, it's like, come on! Yeah. And when you go back to the surface, your health restores, your thirst restores, and whatever negative effects you have on you disappear. It's all good. Because the Fairy King can't afford to have us die in here. Leave dungeon temporarily. Because I think I want to start restoring the world here. Also, I should hit the mayor, just, No, I think my inventory is full, actually. Well, anyway. Huh? I love this guy. He's a good mentor. Very kind-hearted, but he's also, like, crotchety. Got that whole, dark humor to him.
Seems like you finally came back with some Atla. Very well, then. I shall teach you as I promised. The pieces sealed inside Atla are released by touching the Atla with your left hand, where the power of Atlamillia resides. Buildings and people that were sucked into the Atlamillia will be restored to their original form. Once you bring them back to the ground level, you can arrange them as you wish. By going back and forth between the dungeon and ground level, you can restore the Earth to its original form. That's your mission as the one who was granted the power of Atlamillia. Now, let us move on. This may get a bit technical. If you wanted to place buildings, etc., press the select button while walking and go to edit mode. Press the select button again to return to walking mode. In edit mode, you can reassemble buildings that have fallen apart and place them on the ground. Seeing is believing. Try it yourself. Must be faster than listening to my lecture.
You get some players are going to be like that.
Oh yes, and if you ever forget the things I teach you, use this.
Manual. I know I like things written down.
It's a guide for using Atlamillia and other things. I wrote it for beginners like you. Manual can be selected from the main menu. Read it really carefully. Okay, I leave the world's reconstruction to you. I'll be watching. Ha ha ha! So long!
There's probably a limit to how much he can affect the physical world. That tends to be the case with fairies and spirits and things. I don't take it too personally. Besides, it is humans that are gonna have to decide how best to do the world anyway. So, we can now place Macho's house. And I already know, just from my previous experience in the game, he wants to be right next to Divine Beast Cave, because he is manly and he likes beating up monsters. And then he can X to move, square to remove, and analysis, collection, completion, and request. Request is particularly important because if you're able to accommodate everyone's requests for the village, then you get a special reward. So it's important to talk to everyone to see what exactly they want the town to be like. So Macho, let's get you in here. Macho like his name, never skips training, never skip leg day. Daily training makes our muscular body. It gives you hints in each slot as to what they're looking for. A little powerhouse. That's his brother, Co-Macho. But for the rest, we actually have to ask Macho what he wants. And you can find him wandering the overworld somewhere, or in his house, if otherwise. And then whenever you place things down, and these will occasionally pop up. These little eyeball chests. Bread. And then you get more items. Tasty water. Yay! Macho, what's up? And then those little arrows in the distance will tell you if people are having trouble loading in and where they are. Ah, Tone! I missed you, man! Your smile really brightens my day. Hello. If you see my big bro, tell him you didn't see me, okay? I'm counting on ya. Why? Be careful with Statue. Your sword wears out real fast when you hit his armor. Whoop, sorry for jumping around so much. Build your sword's anti-metal ability to take out monsters like Statue quickly. Actually, you need Rock Breaker for Statue, but I'm sure there was a design note or something missed there. Duel is a fight of timing. They say if you fight a perfect match, you'll be rewarded by the Terra Fairies. Oh, we'll get into that part later. I'm not sure if that's true, though. It totes is. Fighting is all about timing. Withdraw when you should, and attack when you can. The skilled warrior knows all of this. Listen to me. Looking at Claude's flag just irritates me. He doesn't understand how a guy ought to be. Macho. Muscular. Okay, you're boring now. How should I rebuild Norun? Fighting is what a man should live for. It's a basic fact of life, right? I I already did what he wanted, so he didn't have anything insightful to say. If I had placed it elsewhere, he probably would have said, put it next to Divine Beast Cave. Is this your way of telling me you like what I did? I don't know.
What will happen when it's done? That you should ask my big bro.
So, each person will also reward you when you complete their house.
Oh, speaking of which, tell me how to rebuild your house. Look, don't forget to expand my room. And the barbell, put that outside.
Okay, do I have anything like that here? Nope, not yet. I have a lamp and a fence, which apparently someone else wants. I'm gonna put some trees down. Save the planet. One seed at a time. I'll probably be moving all these around eventually. And we gotta get some road in there. Yep. Can be somewhat... It can be somewhat of a thinker trying to get it so that everyone's pleased. It's not always as easy as all that. None shall pass! Unless you decide to walk around. I don't know. Let's not be unfriendly, let's leave a space. You will need to put everything down in order to get the full completion, of course. So, I think I'm actually full on my stuff right now. I got that. Yeah. So I don't think the mayor would give me anything. I think he says something kind of funny if I try. But it's also like, he's not made of money, man. Come on, don't take advantage of him too much.
How was the Divine Beast Cave? You ran into some monsters, right? What's happened to it, I wonder?
Yeah, well, okay. He didn't have anything there.
But it's just like, you gotta learn to be self-sufficient.
Can't just, expect supplies all the time, right? What budget is he even working with? His village is toast. And he's no good for fighting. Why doesn't Macho on my party? That actually makes me mad. Okay, and you are fat shaming. I'm done with you. Adventure Day 1. Night. This is eventually going to lose meaning, but for right now, it's cool. At night, you usually find people in their houses, all tucked up and safe. But, you know, it does make me happy that you're here, Macho, because someone ought to be guarding the village when I'm gone. I think that's all I can do for right now. Okay, and of course you have the option to save. Very important. Yes, I have a memory card. God, I feel old. Okay. What else can we do here? Diorama, dungeons, weapons, saving, and other. Good stuff. Oh, these each are subdivided. Okay, but I know what's up. Well, guess that's it for now. So that's the basic skivvy of this game. You run around, you beat up some monsters, you pimp out your weapons, and then you come back up, and with whatever you got, you start restoring the world, start trying to undo the damage. And you end up with like 5 other party members, each with their own weapon styles. Okay. Then the build-up paths, you only have 1. That makes this actually much easier. You don't need wind. Well, I feel a little pointless for saving that then, but I know there'll be something that wants it. So it'll tell you in red what it needs. It needs more attack, endurance, MP, ice, thunder, undead, beast, and mage. Oh, and metal. Okay. But one thing I'm gonna want to get pretty soon is Rockbreaker, because as Macho said, we're gonna start fighting some statues, probably next episode, and they are gonna pull no punches. It'll be very nasty. Are there any chests in the trees? That was probably too much for right? Probably along the river, right? Nah, probably only houses, I think. Ah well. At any rate. So, we're a one-man army out to single-handedly restore the world. Why do they always leave this to the kids? Well, sometimes kids are the only guys you can rely on. Adults are too set in their ways, etc. there anything else I should cover here? Well, we need to see more of the game first. I guess that's it for now. Oh, one thing you can find in the chest is, like, a character's favorite food, which increases their defense power. And... oh, yeah, and you can drag items onto the character to have an effect when you're in the menu mode as well. I think that's it. I know I'm gonna want... that's one thing we're gonna unlock later, is a storage space so that I can dump things like this. Because you only have 50 slots, as you see in the upper right there. Man. And you really start getting cerebral with all the things you can do in this game. Once more the system becomes apparent, once you start unlocking more things. The more wacky stuff you find in the dungeon. Yeah. What does it say about the bone rapier? Made of bone, ability unknown. Well, it's icy and it's cool. I know that much. Okay, but I think that's all. I should stop extending the episode and end it here. Next time, we're going back into Divine Beast Cave. The Fairy King will help us for a bit in the starting dungeons to tell us what's up, what we should be aware of. We're going to start slowly restoring the village. And I think around floor 8, some major plot twist happens. Floor 4 is the duel. I do remember that because I died on it so many times. Okay. So this is the game. We are a dungeon crawler, village architect. It's just like an eclectic mix, and I love it so much, and I love this game, and I think more people should know it exists and play it. That's all. So, thank you all for tuning in. Please comment and subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and remember, you all have the potential to get good. Peace out.